Hey everyone, today we're just going to be doing the setting up process for getting our AI to actually function. Just a reminder, we are building off from my previous tutorial series, which is how to get the arrow trajectory to work. If you haven't watched it, please do, because at the end of that you'll be able to have exactly what I have here. Now, as you can see right now, our little AI character is just moving about. However, this isn't using all the components that we're going to be using for our AI system. We'll actually be building off of this, but let's start. So to set up, if you go to our Anim starter pack for our character and go to ASP character, you'll notice that there's a set of blueprints, which is what we use to just get the AI to move. This was just setting a random point at a certain radius based off of his location, moving, and then delaying for 1 second and repeating the process. We're actually going to remove all of this and set it up somewhere else. Okay, so next step would be to create a controller for this guy. So right click, go to blueprint, and then underneath all classes we're actually going to search AI, and then you'll see over here controller. So select that and let's just call it, I don't know, enemy AI controller. And then afterwards we need to go in, or over here in the ASP character, and set the controller, instead of just AI controller, to our enemy AI controller. After we do that, now we can begin creating a behavior tree and a blueprint. Now for those that are completely new with Unreal, the character class is similar to the pawn class, with a little extra functionality for like movement and with the and also for like this capsule component that's around here. And so you can think of the character kind of like the body of that enemy or your player character, or really anything. And this controller class that we just made is like the brain of this. Now we're actually not going to do anything inside of the AI controller. We just want to show Unreal that it has a brain. That's really the only purpose. So now we're going to go to Blueprints, and let's create a new folder, because this is where we're going to contain all of our stuff. Enemy, I don't know, AI folder or something. Now inside this enemy AI folder, we're going to right click, go to, if I remember where it is, miscellaneous, and behavior tree. Now this is important. The behavior tree is a set of instructions that the AI will follow, and so we're going to be setting up this behavior tree to get it ready for our instructions. The end result should be like an actual logical tree that starts executing our instructions. So in our case, we want it to run around when he doesn't see the enemy, and then when any other character causes any form of damage to that AI, select it as the enemy, and then point itself at the direction of that enemy and shoot an arrow at it. That's what we're going to be doing throughout the remainder of this tutorial series. So we have this set up, which is good. We also need to create a new Blackboard. So go to right click, miscellaneous, Blackboard. The Blackboard, hold on. Alright, the Blackboard is kind of like a, think of it like your public class, if you're a programmer, or think of it like a list of just public variables that any of the parts of the behavior tree can see. And you can also stem or use this same Blackboard for multiple different types of characters that have different behavior trees. You can see, like, if we click on new key, we can have our variable list over here, and then this basically just makes it public so that all things can reference it. And so we'll be using this not too heavily, but it's important for AI work. And then going back to the behavior tree, we're going to click on root and set this Blackboard to what we just created over here. So now we know that this behavior tree will be using this Blackboard. So that's good. And also one more thing, I don't really think it's completely necessary, but I do it just in case. So go to your anim starter pack, back to your AI controller over here, and under event begin play, we want it to run the behavior tree. And the behavior tree is the enemy behavior. Okay. It's important to save. Okay, right now you won't see him do anything. You won't see him do anything. However, everything that we need to get started is set up, which is good. Oh, wait, hold on. There's actually a couple more things. This will just make it easier to reference. For example, if you go to our ASP character, oh, I'm sorry. If we go to blueprints and go to my character over here, then you'll see the code that we had before, and we're going to change a part that's right here, because the way that we're going to be setting up the arrow, or the damage for the arrow, to be able to see not just the player character but any other character that causes damage to it, is using what Unreal calls Instigator. All it really is a it's like a preset Unreal's like notifier system where whatever damage gets caused gets inflicted by an instigator. In fact, I'll just temporarily show you this. If you look at the apply damage event, you'll see right here, event instigator. This essentially is going to be referencing the character that shot the arrow, and so we're going to set it for our player controller, and we're also going to set it for our AI controller, so that if by a chance one AI shoots another AI, they both will start fighting, and it's, you know, cool to look at. So we're doing that. So stemming off of spawn actor flying arrow, we're going to set the instigator, and we'll just interrupt it here. And the instigator is going to be the player, the player character. So self to instigator, and okay, and that's all we really need to do for this, to set this section up. Okay, now that we have this, in the next tutorial I'll be starting to work on getting the arrow to, upon hitting, to transmit the instigator that we just created to this enemy character, and we'll begin working with the behavior tree. So stay tuned. Thanks.